Did you see that hyped one up to 48 cards in his mono blue deck, making yours look tiny by comparison? I did see that. I did. We're going to go ahead and jump into the second draft here. 3-0 is not bad. It's always nice to finish your series early because then you get this nice break. Like, I feel refreshed already. This nice 30-minute break that I just got. Okay, so right off the bat, we've got Bronze Legionnaire. Bronze Legionnaire is too good to not go. We got Skywrath Mage. I don't really like Skywrath that much. I don't like committing myself into blue. Like, Skywrath is a good card, but it's an early commitment to blue when Oath is really powerful as well. Is Oath really that good? I know Oath is rated quite highly. It's a little scary. This is a pretty do-nothing pack. Basically just garbage here. Crusader is vaguely playable. Messenger Rookery is playable. Everything else is just unplayable. I'm not even going to put Shield of Basilius in my deck. I think Yol liked that card once upon a time. I suspect he doesn't anymore. He's the Ogre Conscript. Rebel Decoy is quite playable. Everything else here sucks. Yeah, these cards are just unplayable, right? Not going to run forward charge. Pack got bad pretty fast. So we have Viper, which is a playable hero. It's not amazing. OD is not something we're going to play. We got some good green and black options here. Disciple plus Satyr is looking pretty good. Vermusk Blessing is a good third option. All three of these are pretty great. Red Mist Pillager is good, and we're actually probably committed to red at this point. Could have picked up the Skywrath, honestly. That's kind of the one major decision I had as an option. Like, Skywrath is a fairly good hero, but I don't like locking myself into blue. I think it's a little risky. So Satyr Duelist and Red Mist Pillager are both good options here. I think I like Satyr better. We're not necessarily locked into green though. Whereas black and red are things we're pretty much going to be playing. I feel like green is such a high value color. That's amazing. How did this make it through? Blue is still an option. I don't mind keeping this option open. Satyr Magician is better than Trebuchets. It's pretty solid. Ursa could work for the red hero. Let's look at the opportunity cost of this pack. DI is good, but honestly, we might actually just skip green here. We've got a lot of the other colors. I mean, even blue is looking kind of decent for us. And Viper is basically a non-hero. I guess this is better than Farfran. Is Viper better than Farfran? That's questionable. Like, Clear, Ursa, Hellbear, and DI are all pretty solid. I like DI, but we're kind of committed to red. I sort of don't really like the idea of going too far into green here. Clear the deck is pretty solid. I think it's Clear Ursa in my mind. Ursa is not an amazing hero. It's a little risky going for Ursa, because sometimes you just get blown out. If we end up drafting a lot of red, we would actually include Sucker Punch into our deck. Red-black does gain a lot of golds. Honestly, Helm of the Dominator opens us up to a fairly good win condition. I think it's just good to take, plus spot weakness. I am not... I think I just don't like Cover of Night. I think it's... I know it's playable in this mode. Maybe I underrate this in draft just because mobility is so good. Mobility is actually really, really important in draft. The question is how many black heroes are we going to have? Could be a splash. Spot weakness is kind of a do-nothing. Cantrips. I think opening up the option is probably better. In draft, it's less important to play a blank cantrip. And cover is actually feasible. Is Vermusk playable? Decent gold gain, it's okay. 2 do-nothings. Bronze Legionnaire is great. Disciple, second Disciple. Holy shit, this pack. Bronze, Disciple, Tyler Sensor. Woof. That's hard. That's really hard. Is it just Bronze Disciple? I mean, Tyler's Sensor is so good. I can't choose Payday here. I kind of want to think it's just Bronze Disciple. It's too good not to pick these. I like Tyler. We already have one. It's less of like... It's less important to have multiple. They kind of fall off diminishingly, whereas Disciples kind of almost get better the more you have of them because they allow you to be aggro. Could take the Payday here. I don't really mind it. We scooped up the Helm of the Dominator already. At this point, it looks like we could actually go for a duo color deck. We're getting some good card density in these. I think Payday is definitely going to be higher value on return than these. So here we have the Ogre Corpse Tosser, which is actually playable. Looking like a very aggressive deck, which makes Untested Grunts, I think, a pretty easy scoop. We already have one clear of the deck. I don't think I necessarily want to run multiple of it, but it actually looks like we're going into a potential duo. So Red Mist and Crusader are already in the deck. Clear fights for Enrage slot. I think Ogre Corpse Tosser actually probably takes it over this. Sucker Punch isn't even terrible. So Lion is just a non-option. Slay is actually pretty good to find the Slate into a pack. Not unhappy about that. And then just the other pick is just going to be trash. Second Grunt. This late into a pack is something I'm pretty happy to see. We're not going to run 2 Remuskable Vestments, so it doesn't really matter. Second Viper. Garbage. Amazing. Enough Magic is actually quite dope. Enough Magic or Hipfire. These are both just good cards. We're gonna have some basic heroes, so let's start. Now that we've kind of done this, let's start throwing these away. I think that the odds of us running blue are low. If we get forced into a good blue hero, then we actually can splash blue or something. But at this point, it looks like we're just doing this. I mean, we've got a good like kind of aggro duo color thing going on here. So let's have a look at our ratios now that we've done that. 12 and 12. We're about to go further into black, which means could balance it out with some red. Hipfire off of initiative can actually be pretty useful. We have Chain Frost, which is good off of initiative. You want to pair Chain Frost with initiative cards if you've got more black heroes. Enough Magic is actually just really good, though. Especially with the nature of this deck. Like, Enough Magic can actually just win you games. I think because I have Chain Frost, I feel like I already have that kind of finisher requirement. I'm okay if games are going late. I think I'll usually be able to blow the opponent out with Chain Frost, so I want to favor the Hipfire here. Even Phase Boots isn't that bad, but if you're going duo, you have more of a necessity to be running main deck cards over items. So I'll just go Lich Hipfire. Lich is nuts, though. So we already have one clear of the deck. Clear is pretty good. I know Hyped really likes clear. I kind of don't. I think it's probably better than Rebel Instigator, though. I'm okay running 2 clears in a duo deck if we're going duo. I mean, normally I don't go out of my way to go duo, but this is actually just kind of looking like a build where we have this ability. Now, we really want to start... We don't want to run 3 basic heroes if we can avoid it. Honestly, Fight Through the Pin could be good. We got the Chain Frosts. We have the initiative payoff in 3 Chain Frosts. And we already have 2 Hipfires. I actually think I might favor Combat Training. This card is kind of underrated. Don't really need another health item, honestly. I think Combat Training can easily make the cut in a deck, in a duo deck. So we got Prelix and a bunch of do-nothings. We're just not going to run these cards right. The most important thing is just picking up a playable hero. What the hell? Okay. Is my game? What? This is really bad. My game's like freezing or something. What the hell? Okay, I have no idea what's happening. Looks like it's fine now. That was really weird. Maul on the last pack. I'm very happy to see that. So Abaddon's not what we want. Ogre Conscript very much is what we want. We're not going for Thunderhide here. We could have gone for a green splash. I think it's too late for that, though. The question is Viper even better than Farvaran? I kind of don't think so. Farvaran's aura is actually just neat. Either way, it looks like Ogre. I don't think I'm jamming 3 clear the decks. I mean, let's actually start building this deck now. I mean, third Ogre Conscript is just always welcome. We're running 1 Keef and 1 Debbie, right? At this point, unless we find a decent hero. Are we running 3 black or 3 red? Still undecided, honestly, with these ratios. We're about to go to 15 red and 17 black. More likely we're running 3 black. Unsupervised artillery is honestly okay. Is clear the deck just better though? Clear the deck could actually just be a really good card. And there's still this weird possibility to splash green. I mean, especially if we decide Viper is better than Firevan, I could see scooping a Rimusk Blessing or something like that. It's a good splash card, but I think we've just kind of committed ourselves out of green. And we're on the last pack, so... leaving green open is more of an option. Could have been better earlier, but it's too late for that now. I think we're going for artillery here, I want to say. I mean, we're getting good card density in these 2 colors we're playing for, which gives us, like, pretty good duo potential. Now, this is sad. Like, Rebel Instigator feels bad. Altar of the Mad Moon is a card I actually don't mind, especially as a splash. Are we green splashing? I feel like we still just don't have the tools for a splash. But Rebel Instigator is just not a good card. Maybe I should have taken Thunderhead Pack over the artillery here. How good is Escape Route? I think mobility is probably too important. I think if Escape Route is good, Jasper Daggers is probably the second pick. Jasper Daggers, I think, does quite a lot. I'm honestly not sure how I evaluate Escape Route in this mode. It's like a really bad Relentless Pursuit. I don't know. Mobility sometimes just wins you the game. But it can be kind of bricked early, so that's what we like to see. That's a nutty card. Well done, deck. Obviously, we're not running any of these cards. The end of this pack is a little feels bad, though. Yeah, nothing playable. I mean, it looks like we've got the makings of a pretty powerful duo. And whenever you can go duo, it feels really good to go duo. So, is this the triple red deploy? I think we need to deploy at least 1 black hero because we've got some kind of early black plays that are going to be very good. Oops, what did I just take out? I just take out bitter enemies by accident, I think. I don't think I took out anything I'm actually going to play. So our card quality is going to be a little bit lower here since we're a duo deck. But honestly, I think I'm pretty happy with this card quality. Like, I'm in no position to complain about this deck. This is a high percentile deck. This is pretty powerful. We don't have a payday, which means I think Helm just has to be bad. I just don't think we're going to get enough gold for Helm without any sort of gold. I mean, we're killing a lot of heroes, but without gold generation, it might just be hard. Oh, it's single Elim after this. Holy shit. Good thing I high rolled the draft. 40. So we got 18 minutes left to build this deck. We got a lot of time. We have the 1 payday, which, you know, we could curve with Helm, maybe. Shield is probably better than Rimusk Vestments. But in reality, our item deck is, I mean, who are we kidding? We're just going to do like this, right? I actually think Keenfolk Musket is okay here. Short Sword could be a one-off. We do have good item generation here. Stonehall Plate could actually be decent as well. Feels better than Ring of Tarask, honestly. We'll finish the items afterwards. So we've declined almost no black and red cards. How's Ravenous Mass? You can kind of condemn your own heroes, which is nice. Sometimes you can, like, push more face damage. There is some utility to this card. Like, it is a draft playable card, and we are a duo deck. But I don't think I like the idea of it here. Maybe it's better than Collateral Damage, though. Collateral Damage and Curse Satyr feel a little worse. And we've got a lot of 5 on red, so I don't think we need Crusaders. I regret not taking that Sucker Punch, honestly. Because we ended up with 3 red heroes, which I think is pretty rare to have happen, but it did anyway. I think Combat Training does more here. I like being able to curve in on turn 1. Especially Bristle can kill at 10 right away, which feels very good when that happens. So I'm not unhappy about this combat training. Right now our ratioing is the biggest problem. We've got 2 black and 21 black, so we're going to need to cut down on our black. I think Cover of Night probably has to go. What's better, Escape Route or Cover of Night? Cover of Night can only move black heroes, right? So isn't this just trash? It kind of defies the function of the card. Grazing Shot probably has to go. We might actually have to run like 1 Cursed Satyr. The problem is our black heroes are kind of squishy. Our ratioing is a little off. Do we have to run three black, right? Probably. Double Debbie, I think. That's the only way to fix this ratioing. Double Debbie it is. Okay, so now we feel better about giving up that Sucker Punch. That's okay. The question is, I mean, now we could consider flopping Ursa. We'll see. We'll figure that out. I still want to run combat training. It's still good for the Bristleback. We're at 39. Color ratio just looks better here. Cover of Night could actually consider. I mean, we'll put it in for now. We'll see. I don't know. And now the Cursed Satyrs are definitely out. 100%. Red Mist feels good. I mean, our ratios just match right now. That's pretty good. I'm going to go to the bathroom real. Yo, welcome to the 1/8 Gate Club, Quad Def. Okay, so what did we cut out? Obviously, we're just not mixing other colors in this. This is a solid duo color deck. Like, whenever I can roll a duo, I do feel happy. It's usually a lot harder, too. 3 Ogre Conscripts is pretty nuts. Ogre Corpse Tosser isn't amazing. Right now, there's nothing in black that we're missing out on that's actually better. I mean, maybe this is just what we roll. This feels fine. 1 Grazing Shot is maybe the most cuttable slot on black. Pretty happy with the payday, I think. Yeah. Right now, we're running both the Cover of Night and Escape Route, which could be unnecessarily mobility. But honestly, I think these cards just kind of have a chance to clean up games, and we're not really giving up much in terms of opportunity cost. The one thing we could run is Ravenous Mass, which... I mean, what's the utility of this card? You can kind of use it like a Storm, a Ball Lightning, sort of, by... You can zip the stats over to where they're punching tower sometimes. I feel like there's a lot of situations where this is a 4-mana 1/1, but I guess at worst you can like kill a hero, have it start coming back later. I don't really regret not having Ravenous Mass or Cursed Satyr, I think. This deck looks good here. I don't actually see any problems with this. So let's look at the last decision, the flop, Double Debbie versus Ursa. Ursa's kind of a better flop hero, I want to say, but Double Debbie does allow us to develop maybe more high payoff black tools. I think we don't really have enough black turn 1 options to make that worth it. And honestly, if we're drawing like combat training and Bronze Legionnaire, yeah, I think Ursa flop is just better. I want to let Ursa get that punch in, I think. I do have more black turn 1 plays to make. But honestly, like, a lot of them aren't necessary. Like, Disciple often sucks turn 1. Grunt is good, Artillery is good, No Accident often sucks turn 1. I think it's fine to flop double red here. Pillager, Chorus Tosser. We really come online on 6 and 7 with this deck. Feels like we've got some pretty good finishers. I'm pretty happy with this. This looks great. So, let's finish up building our item deck. Jasper and Keenfolk, Red Mist Maul all feel fine. We're going to have a lot of golds. Helm of the Dominator could even just win us certain matchups. It's a good draft card. And a guy like Shield of Basilia is better than Stonehall Plate. Stonehall Plate seems like kind of a meme. This item deck looks good though. 1 Short Sword, 1 Jasper, 1 Keenfolk, 1 Red Mist. Could cut down to a 2nd Short Sword. I could see a 2nd Short Sword over something like a Keenfolk Musket. I think we'll have enough gold gain though. Like, I think fairly comfortable with this item deck. The one thing is it could be a Shield of Basilius cut. I don't know. I think Bassie's fine. I think I'm pretty happy with the idea of running it here. Could be like Ring of Tarask instead, though. We do have like 2 Debbies. They're not super vulnerable to dying, though. And I like the idea of going wide. I mean, I don't have Sorla, but we still have a fairly unit-based deck, double Disciple and the Oath. So going wider than the opponent is still going to be nice. Keeping our stuff alive is still going to be nice. I feel pretty happy with this, I think. How much time do I have left to draft? 9 minutes? I don't think I need that, right? I can just register this. I mean, I can spend the time looking this over, but I don't know what that's going to change. I could switch Debbie and Lich deploy. That doesn't do anything for me though, right? Pretty happy with my Lich spawning round 3. Pretty happy with all this. I mean, I could see like a collateral damage or a mass over like an escape route or a cover of night. That's the one thing. I think Escape Route and Cover Night feel good, though. I mean, I've got a strong deck, and it kind of helps me play around in my least condition. This deck feels really good. I mean, there's very few choices in this deck that I really mind. This is a high-powered deck. I'm thinking this is like 85th percentile. Like, it doesn't feel like nuts, but it feels very good. Could see 1 more Short Swords instead of like a Keen Falk. I mentioned that before. I don't know. I like this, though. What more could a man ask for? 3 Cloaks split among, like, 2 Debbies plus some other stuff that I might want to keep alive could be a little low. I do wish I had, like, 1 more health item. Like, if I had a Signet Ring. I could run Ring of Tarask. I'm not necessarily the biggest believer in this card, though. I kind of like Shield of Basilius better. I mean, what else am I going to change at this point? Nothing, right? Don't I just register this? I've looked through this deck like 3 times now. Just because I have more time. So single Elim is a little monk-ass. We've got a good deck, but we could just get blown out by single Elim format. Because sometimes losses just happen, you know? Yeah, nothing here is going to change. Let's lock it in, boys. There we go. So it's, I guess we can't see... Is this people's new decks? If they've registered already, does it override their new decks with this? No, Hyped is still on his old deck. Was Rob playing this for the Swiss? Jesus. So... This is the 64 bracket, and then this is the top 8 bracket. Okay, so all we need to do is just win, like, 4 times with this deck to make top 8? Wait, is that true? 4 times? I just need 3 wins. Ravenous Mass feels okay with 13 creeps, but Mass plus Lich is a bit anti-synergistic. I don't know, Mass just feels like shit. I don't know. I think... The card has utility. It's mostly like a really shitty TP scroll. Or like a way to move your stats from one place to another. It feels like too often it's just like a 4-mana 1/1. But maybe the card has so much utility that like you'll always be able to use it for something. That's the one thing. I might be underrating Ravenous Mass, possibly.